Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Crew Talk with yours truly, Justjaybe, aka Old Head, and Chris Brandau. Today is our SummerSlam Fallout show. Let's get straight to it. Brandau, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. A lot of stuff to get to,
A
and
lot.
I'll just say this last thing is, say what you will about Triple H, but I'm wearing his shirt today because he cooked.
Got to hand it to the game. Got to hand it to the game. It's all about the game. He's that damn good in many aspects, especially and especially SummerSlam. He did the damn thing. Got to give him credit. We I've expressed criticism to him lately. You have to keep the same energy. He came through. I felt like he came through in many ways this past weekend for sure. So let's get to it. I think first off, the biggest news of SummerSlam. Kevin Owens is back. Holy shit. What a moment. What do you think about that, man? That was a crazy moment.
It's funny. I didn't even think of it, and I should have. Like once he said that there was gonna be a fourth person, I'm like, I'm trying to rack my brain. I'm like, and then when he showed, I'm like, duh. But like, I didn't know he was clear, which I love that Anthony talked to him on the post show. How he didn't even know if he was going to be able to wrestle ever again. I mean, you could tell it was emotion hit him when he came out, and the crowd went crazy. And I think people got to understand this. These are people that pour their heart and soul out in this, and it's tough to like leave the business when you're not ready to leave. And he
Yep.
even said that he wanted to leave on his own volition, and for that to be taken away from you is tough. And I think he was saying that to Big E, and because Big E went through the same thing. So just seeing
Exactly.
Kevin Owens come back, man, was awesome. Uh, I was surprised he won, though. I was not expecting that at all because I was like, huh, Owens versus Punk, that's interesting. Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking Owens was back to get the pop, and then maybe, he's in the match and something happens where, Balor eats the pinfall and Gunther wins. I was fully expecting Gunther to win when they put him in as the third person. It's like, oh, Gunther's winning this. Duh, it makes perfect sense. He's been
Mm-hmm.
saying it all along that he needs a title shot. But it was a pleasant surprise that KO won. Now, where they go from there, we'll have to see. We didn't do anything with it Monday night. They didn't talk about Punk or KO. They weren't on the show. So who knows?
Yeah, man. Well, let's rewind a little bit. Kevin Owens is night two. Let's start off with night one. But Kevin Owens is such a big story that like you just had to kick it off with that. Like, wow, I'm happy he won. I'm happy that he's the number one contender. So we'll see what happens with that. KO versus CM Punk is gonna be a crazy it's just gonna be like a crazy awesome feud. And who knows what that's gonna how what else is gonna happen with that. That should be crazy to see how that unfolds, especially seeing Kevin Owens his first promo back on live TV in Philadelphia this upcoming Friday for SmackDown is going to be awesome. Uh, but that said, let's start off with night one. So we're going to talk about our favorite matches from night one, and we'll get right to it, man. Brando, I know that you were a big fan of this following match, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. How'd you feel about it?
I actually thought that was my favorite match of the night. I think I
Mm-hmm.
just really enjoyed it. I mean, there was some really good near falls, and then the ending, the transition to the ending was beautiful. I was happy Liv won. I didn't think she deserved to lose. I know I said in our predictions I thought Liv it was going to beat Liv only because of
I
the
was
curse, but
right.
the curse never came through. They didn't really like get the curse part away from Liv for that
Mm-hmm.
part. So uh, I think they have bigger plans, obviously, for Liv now, especially what happened on Raw, which we'll get to. Uh, but yeah, excellent match. I think it stole night one, in my opinion. And there were some really good matches night one. Don't get me wrong, but that set the tone for the whole night. And I was just glad that Liv won. And where Io goes from here, that'd be an interesting story to tell. I could definitely see her possibly feuding now with Lyra, maybe, because I thought maybe he was going to win and Lyra's going to feud her for the title, but maybe just feud without the title.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of ways they can go. And Liv obviously is going to get something with Becky and Stephanie Valkyrie since they just returned as well. So awesome
Yeah,
match.
man.
My favorite night one match. What about you?
I think okay, so there's a couple moments that stood out for night one for me. Liv Morgan versus EO was great, especially the ending sequence, which you and other people of our group were like going crazy about. EO is so talented, and Liv Morgan has improved and been so awesome, and is such a has really gotten deep into her character. They really did put on a damn good match. For me, I think actually. Wow. Yeah, Liv Morgan versus Io was probably the best match of night one for me. But some other moments like that I thought were really good were I thought in the 6-man tag, I actually was surprised that LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo won that match, but there was actually a lot of comedy in that match too. Solo was hilarious. Gotta give it up to him. He was hysterical in that match. He really has shown a lot of personality, especially from going from being like the serious enforcer of the bloodline 3 years ago, 3 years ago, and now he was kind of floundering, and then he's really starting to find his footing again. And LA Knight's team wins, and we'll get more into that when we get to Raw. But I was surprised the bloodline lost that match, and it was pretty entertaining. Also, I guess I actually really enjoyed Gunther versus Aldis. You know what? Honestly, night one was a lot of people were dissing night one. I thought night one was pretty balanced,
I
to be
don't.
honest with you. I have some gripes with it, like Fatal. I loved Fatal Influence winning. Night one was just completely. I thought night one was just like good from top to bottom. I know people have been criticizing it, but I thought it was fine. Like I really liked Fatal Influence winning. I'm happy that Bella Twins and Paige lost, and Fatal Influence got pushed there. Uh, CM Punk retaining over Cody Rhodes, I dug it. My only and obviously Randy Orton interfering. That was kind of it was about time that Randy Orton got his ass back and started to wreak havoc on Cody, because especially with how WrestleMania ended, like that they kind of left that into the wilderness for a couple of months. So I'm happy that is going to take place, and kind of maybe give Cody a little break from the title scene a little bit as he tends to Randy Orton. I think that could be a really good opportunity there, and maybe in some ways that could even finally launch a little bit or lean into a little bit the eventual Cody heel turn that everybody wants at this point. I'm really going through it right here. I'll let you talk for now. I'm sorry, but I'm rolling. Um, Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. The right person won. It was a great match. Uh, it, Let me take that back. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was great that Oba Femi slayed the beast. I was a little underwhelmed by the end, but nonetheless, the right person won, and subsequently the torch was passed. And I know we'll have a long discussion about Brock Lesnar retiring. And it turned out that this was at SummerSlam night one in Minneapolis. The main event was Brock Lesnar's last match in WWE, last match as a pro wrestler.
Yeah, Brock's retirement, man. Yeah, say what you will about the guy. The guy has put over numerous superstars, but what he did for Obafemi at the end of that match spoke volumes. And we didn't know at that time he was retiring. I was like, maybe he's retiring. But for him to go back in the ring and say, "This is the future, I'm the past," that's a huge statement.
Huge statement.
I loved it. I think Oba was a little surprised by his reaction. But anyway, I thought the match itself was good, just like you. It wasn't going to be a 5-star classic. It needed to do what it did, and it was great in that respect. So
I hear that.
It was fun. Main event, yeah, I guess it had the main event just because of it was Brock's last match, and we didn't know at the time he was retiring, but there was speculation he was going to retire, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I did think that the Cody Punk match was awesome. I love that match myself. we should have saw this coming from Randy Orton coming in. I don't know why that we didn't even think to discuss that.
Yeah,
Because if
yeah,
they were going to turn
pretty
Cody
obvious.
heel, the best way to do it would be, if not turn him heel, the best thing would be, if he's going to lose, is to have Orton come in after the way WrestleMania ended. So,
Yep.
but to see where that goes Friday night in Philly, by the way.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we'll just see. And then Punk, you know, it looks like he's fighting Kevin Owens for the title as the new number one contender.
That's
Very
gonna be
unexpected
crazy,
number one
man.
contender. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of want Kevin Owens to win now. I don't know why. I just like Kevin Owens that much. He's
I
one of my
wouldn't mind
favorite.
it. I like Kevin Owens.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think Punk is going to probably keep the belt, but who knows? I'd imagine Sami Zayn's going to get involved in this again. Gunther. I mean, there's going to be so much stuff going on with that title. We'll have to just wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the Gunther match with him taking out Nick Aldis. Aldis looked great. I think they did the right thing by having Gunther beat him. I don't
definitely.
know if there's any more plans for Nick Aldis to wrestle again. I think he got his moment. Got to wrestle at a SummerSlam. You know,
Gets the top heel of the company.
For someone that hasn't wrestled in 3 years, he looked damn good. And then, like I said, he's pretty jacked. When you see him take off that outfit, you're like, wow, that guy's pretty big. Like even my girlfriend said it. She was like, my God, I was like, yeah, that's Nick Aldis. So yeah, that was good. I didn't really care for the 6-man tag between the Bellas and the Fatal Influence. Now I understand that it needed to happen. And maybe because I'm not a big fan of the Bellas, I just never have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The heel turn was a little surprising, but needed to be done. Then of course Brie Bell's hurt now because
that, of course.
And it wasn't JC Jane's fault, by the way. I don't know what the hell she was doing, but she literally like left her shoulder up like this when she hit her with that move. Like, do you not know how to take a bump like that? Like, come on. But whatever. So it's fine though, because if you can get Paige versus Nikki in singles matches, and then if Brie's not going to come back anytime soon, Paige can just go off on her own way and do her own thing. I was actually expecting the opposite to happen. I was expecting the Paige to turn on them. But they didn't go that route, and I'm fine with that because you know what?
Yeah.
The Bellas are very easy to boo. And the other 6-man tag, that wasn't one of my like matches I was looking forward to. Yeah, it was a fun match. I think if you're going to talk about unsung heroes for number one, you'd have to talk about Solo. He has really come a long way, like you said, in the past couple of years, and the fans are really starting to gravitate towards him. He's getting some momentum. We'll see where this goes when it comes to like how much of a babyface run he can have.
It's crazy,
but I love
man.
the ending where him and LA Knight hugged, and him and Jay, or not Jay, so where his keys all stood in the ring together, and
it
was a good moment. And I think that was it for night one. So night one to me, I don't know why people. I didn't hear anybody really shitting on it, but I thought it was pretty good night one. I was excited for night one. I'm like, man, night two's gonna have hard. Could be tough to follow up, and night two definitely followed up, especially right out of the gates with the first match.
Yep.
With Kevin Owens making his
Let's get right
return.
into it.
Yeah.
Yep. So as we said earlier, Kevin Owens returned, and he defeated Finn Balor, Gunther, and Sami Zayn to become the number one contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. And what a return! Kevin Owens. It's only right that Kevin Owens pinned his bro Sami Zayn. Those two have been linked forever, and it was crazy. It was just a good moment to see Kevin Owens back, and the company missed him. He's a great addition to the roster. He's been a wrestling savant for years now, and it's just great to see him back post injury. So I cannot wait to see Kevin Owens versus CM Punk. Yeah, you have anything else to add regards to Kevin Owens? It was just awesome. Just awesome seeing him back.
It was a great match, a good match for what it was. Fatal 4-Ways are hard to like pace, but the pacing was fine. Like I said, I was surprised Kevin Owens went over, but awesome moment. I was excited, man.
Triple H was cooking.
Yeah, and then I guess the next match we should talk about is the match that followed that. Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about this. I like Baron Corbin. I wish they would keep his old theme song. His old theme song was awesome. It was badass. And I don't like that they got rid of it and he has something new. But that's just
You know
me being
what
the
though?
dork complaining there.
The new one's starting to grow on me already. I kind of
Is
like
it?
it.
Okay. His old one was a classic, man. At least in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but I think they're just trying. He's trying to turn him a whole new person. So like he wants to get rid of, basically strip everything away and start new. But
Yeah.
I do think
Trick is
Corbin
going to
winning was smart.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
It opens up more feuds. And honestly, where's Carmelo Hayes? Carmelo Hayes,
Great question.
I think is going to show up sooner or later. If you remember correctly, Baron's the one who cost Carmelo Hayes his shot against Trick when he came in and just like threw him off the top rope and onto the ground, and then gave Trick Williams the I forget what it's called, End of Days. And I did like Little Yachty going through the table. Honestly, I hope the Little Yachty just walks away from the whole Trick Williams thing now. I hope he just disappears. Trick doesn't need him. He doesn't need a hype man. He can hype his own
doesn't,
himself.
man.
Like he came out and for SummerSlam, I was just like, ugh. It just doesn't do anything for me.
Trick Williams doesn't need him, man. I agree 100%. Now, I will say Lil Yachty has definitely it seems like he's really embraced his role, and I'll give him credit there, but Trick Williams is a talent, man. He's clearly a part of what is being established as the big three or big four of the new guard, which is obviously Oba, Braun Breaker, Javon Evans, and Trick. Those are like, Carmelo should be in there too, but that's clearly the big four that's forming for the new blood that's rising right now in the company. I would think you would agree with that. It's definitely the core four. I think I was thinking it was the big three, but after I forgot about Braun because he's been in and out. It's definitely a big four that they're formulating a movement around for sure, in my opinion at least. But Trick Williams is going to be going on to bigger and better things. Obviously, with this L he took to Baron Corbin, I'm not worried about it. He's going to be, he's going to be fine. Since we're rolling right now, I just got to say, honestly, seriously, I think the biggest moment for me for maybe all of SummerSlam, especially night 2, was Chelsea Green winning. I loved it. God. I was so happy that the crowd loved it. It was amazing. Of course, it had to be for the interim women's championship. I'm like, okay, of course. But you know what? She did the damn thing. It was a great moment. She's been killing it for months, for over the past like couple years. She has years. Yeah, she has been awesome. She has rolled with the punches. She's been entertaining. She's been good in the ring. She's been taking everything that they give her and embracing it. And I love. How about that, Michael Hayes? Like awesome. She
said that in the post show. She's like, I'm dedicating this to Michael Hayes. I was like, oh my god, that is amazing.
I love it. I love that she won. I was convinced that Charlotte was going to win. This was a great surprise. And
I didn't think Charlotte was going to win.
I know.
I thought they were going to either go safe route and put it back on Jade, just because if Rhea's coming back soon, you have Jade Rhea. But also, I figured, you know what, maybe Chelsea does win because of the situation of Jade and Charlotte. They're going to collide. So,
yeah,
if that's the case, usually when they do these kind of matches, they kind of branch those off, and they're like, okay, that person's not going to win because that person's feuding with that person right now, and it's not going to be for the title. Then they just need to both lose. So that's probably why Jade and Charlotte both lost. So
let me ask you a question, Brandau. Does Rhea Ripley turn heel, beating the crap out of Chelsea Green, who is we
don't even know when she's coming back?
That's true. That's fair. Because I was going to say this. That's fair. Well, I was going to say this. No matter when she comes back, because she'll be back, I want hear me out. I want Chelsea Green to retain against her. Wow. I want them to double down. I want them to double down. Now, granted, Chelsea Green's probably the character that you want chasing and like to have her moment briefly, and then she probably but it's so obvious that she's gonna be like she's gonna have the title for not that long, and then she's gonna lose and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what you do.
Double down.
Yeah, you could.
Have her just skate away with W's as a part of the whole thing,
I can tell you that what they could do, and it's a shame. It's not a shame, but it's kind of a little bit of roadblock, and that's Tiffany Stratton is the U.S. champion.
Oh no!
Have her lose the title,
and
then her get jealous of Chelsea, and then have her turn on Chelsea.
Okay.
Tiffany, we need heel Tiffany. Honestly,
I can rock with that.
I don't like Tiffy time and this bubble gum. Like, oh, I'm happy, go lucky Tiffy. To me, she's a born heel. She's a natural heel.
Yeah,
Sorry, she
she's
is.
a mean girl.
She is, and that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, if you watch her in NXT, she was so much of a better heel than a baby face. It's just because people are
Some
so
people are just
clamoring
born
for her
heels
to come up that she became a baby face when she came up. But
Yeah.
I'd make her the heel in that situation. If you're not going to go that route, she's got a number of challengers. I mean, that she can beat until Rhea comes back. But honestly, I don't know when Rhea's come back. We don't know what's happening. I don't. It was just a cool moment though. She got to do it in her hometown.
Awesome.
By the way, she's from Minnesota.
Beautiful.
Matt Cardona was at ringside. It was just a cool moment. I was expecting him to come in the ring. I'm kind of glad he didn't because it kind of left it like the spotlight on her. Like this is her moment.
Yeah.
Now the rest fall out of that match. Lash looked pretty good.
Yeah, Lash was awesome.
Tiffy took the craziest bump, I think. I mean, that bump she took was holy hell. And then Charlotte and Jade, they're on a collision course. They've been on a collision course since like last year.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're going to milk this all the way to Mania next year or if they can drag it out. It's going to be tough. But maybe something comes to a head very soon. I don't think they can. I don't think they can wait on that one. So yeah, the ladder match, I'd give it a solid rating. Definitely the moment of the night for sure. Like you said, moment of the show. But it's tough though because then you had Kevin Owens too return that same night. It's like, man, that's two great moments. How do you top those
two of the best moments?
Woo!
Yeah, two of the best moments probably in the same night. In terms of just like feel good moments. Now this next match, man, I don't know if you want to talk much about it, but Danhausen versus Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. It is what it is with that. Meh. It was it happened. It was I guess it was entertaining, but yeah.
It was fine for what it was. We knew what it was going to be. I was expecting Dominic to win, but now that he lost this way and the curse, I feel like they're going away from it now because Dominic came out overall to challenge Chad Gable, which I'm all for. Let's do that. Let's go that
Well,
route.
Speaking of speaking of Chad Gable defeating Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. Great match. We all were excited about the match and thought it was gonna. I'm not sure actually it stole the show, but it was good. It was solid. A lot of great performers at this event, and a lot of them, did what they needed to do and delivered, in my opinion. And this was one of those cases where that happened. It was good to see Chad Gable, who is getting a lot of momentum, by the way. They've really been doing a good job riding his momentum since his match of the year candidate, against El Grande and AAA. It was, he's definitely been on the rise for sure, and I like what I'm seeing with it. So,
yeah, I should have known once I
you
saw
were correct.
The match placement in the card that it wasn't going to steal the show. There was no way they're going to let that match overshadow the main event. If it was early in the card, they might have given him a little more time too.
Yeah.
I felt like if it had like maybe 7 to 8 more minutes, that would have probably stole the show because they would have done some amazing stuff. But it was an excellent match at the moment with the family coming in there.
Yep.
And everything was awesome. One thing that was weird was this mug root beer spot they did. I don't know what that was about.
I know, man. I'm just like, oh my gosh. God. It's just the era we're in, man. It's the era we're in.
I know. It's the TK
era.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, we talked about not having it not overshadow the main event. I just have to take some time here to talk about Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Y'all know who are watching this and listening to this. I said how I feel about Seth Rollins. He's going to make me very uncomfortable and have to move somebody off of my Mount Rushmore of in-ring performers because I think he is outstanding. And to nobody's surprise, these two put on an absolute storytelling clinic. This is another match of the year, in my opinion, candidate in terms of other factors. Obviously not pure wrestling and technical. I'm talking about just other factors, storytelling.
Yeah, you have to have all those factors.
Just all those other factors in it, but especially the storytelling in this match, them talking to each other, what goes into it. It just sold it for itself. Roman Reigns having to overcome the close calls, them taking each other's finishers, the callbacks to the, what got them into the, what got them to where they're at now. The callback with the turning on with the chair shot, just so many callbacks with this match, and I thought they did such a good job. And hands off to both of them, man. It was awesome. That was a WrestleMania worthy main event at a SummerSlam, which is obviously their second biggest event of the year, arguably. So it was. I liked, I thought it was pretty, it's pretty obvious that Roman Reigns was going to retain and beat him, but I love that it was really, he did it one on one, no help, and refused to cheat. It was good. It was a big moment for Roman Reigns' character, and once again, Seth Rollins is so good. He's beaten Roman Reigns so many times, actually, at this point, that he could take the loss. It does nothing, doesn't harm him at all. And Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at the end showed respect, which is the most face thing that Roman Reigns has done in a long time, actually. And it was a moment. I had nothing. It was just a banger main event. And I just want to say, even though it's been with two incredible performers, Roman Reigns has arguably been in two of the biggest and best matches of the year. Punk at WrestleMania and now Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. He's there's a reason why he's on top. You could argue it,
I don't know if you can.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So he's, I guess you gotta acknowledge him, But yeah, go ahead, man.
That match was awesome. I love those tributes to the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that they were definitely winking their eye at Dean Ambrose, Moxley, by doing some of his moves, and then with the mask, and
so
pretty
good.
much the fisting at the end was awesome when he put his fist out and they did the fist and they walked off. They got to this other ring and they put the mask down, and all three of them. It was kind of like a chef's kiss to the end of the storyline between them.
Yeah.
For now. Because if Moxley ever comes back, there will definitely be a little bit of a run with those three again, even if it's for a couple months, just as like a goodbye to the fans. Like this is our last hurrah. But we'll see.
Well, Brandau, I said this. I said this a couple days ago. It is crazy to me how these two. They're like, we're looking at them, man. It just feels like yesterday that they debuted, man. Now it's like they're the old guard. It's crazy. It just doesn't, being our age, like being a millennial and you a Gen Xer or Zennial, however you want to define yourself. You Gen Xer, right?
I'm a Generation Xer, yeah.
There we go. Like with all that being said, like just seeing these people, like, dude, they were new. They were the new blood for so long, and now we blink, and now it's like, wow, yeah, they're on the other side now. It's kind of crazy. It just really hit me. Like, yeah, they're really, Triple H is really forging a new blood movement right now. Now they're not going to completely be overtaken. I think there's still some time, but it's definitely been set that they're going to start to begin to set the stage for turnover, in the next half decade. I'll put it like that. Yeah, which you have to do in the business.
Right stars are in place. They got to make new stars. I mean,
yeah.
Forever we've been waiting for that when it came down to like
true
with the Austins and the Rocks and them, and then who's going to replace who's going to take over their mantle, and then you had the Cenas, and you had
Brock Lesnar,
the Ortons, and them guys, and then
Batistas. It happens every time.
Now they're passing the torch down, and they pass the torch down to the Romans, the Seths, whoever else was in that area, I guess. I guess, and then now you have the Obas, the Brawl and Breakers, the Javon Evans, the Trick Williams. On that
NXT
side,
fire on all cylinders, yeah, man. Oh, and obviously, you mentioned earlier whoever else, obviously Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, like all Shinsuke Nakamura, that whole like group that was just like, man, it was, and obviously you always have carryover because Brock Lesnar returned and you had appearances. You always in wrestling you always have the veteran part timers at this point, the past like 15 years, who keep things moving and bring for the big moments. But like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns they've been the pillars, man. They've been the pillars for the past, the consistent pillars over the past like decade, especially Seth Rollins, because Roman Reigns for a bit was part time, Seth Rollins is, but they've been the two names. They've been the two names, and it's just that promo from a couple weeks ago really got me, man. It's true. I'm like, wow, like these guys are really, they're really you just blink and wow, they were the new guys and now they're not. It's great.
Yeah, it's funny because LA Knight's considered one of the new guys, but he's probably older than both of them.
He's
I
old,
think.
yeah,
So, it's
yeah,
just funny,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's one of them things where Seth and Roman, when their careers are over, I can definitely see when Roman's done, he's done. You're not going to see him come back and make return matches. Now Seth, I could definitely see him taking that mantle, be like a special attraction match here and there, like he's an up and coming wrestler, and like Seth shows up on a Raw one day and does like some kind of like angle, and this guy wants his fame and fortune, and he wants to fight somebody, and well, let's do a match between him and
I can see that with Seth being like, being
Roman,
like
I don't say it.
Yeah, I hear you. I can see Seth like being like the special attraction, or like maybe he goes into that like one WrestleMania match a year slot that a lot of the other part-timers were doing for a bit. Triple H and Undertaker did that for a while. They did that for like a good like 5 years, man. I did that for a while. So yeah, you're right. They're just gonna, with this turnover, like that's probably what they're gonna slot into. I can see Rollins doing that.
Even Rollins like retires to a degree where
Yeah.
you're like he's like gone, and like he comes back as like a GM, and then you have an
Like
angle
Foley did that. He was retired, but they had a couple matches. Yeah, like Rick, yeah, man. I was about to say Ric Flair, but we all he never we know what happened with him with that stuff. So. But anyway, yeah, man, it's crazy. So man, yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy, man, seeing those guys for so long, and you blink and it's like, wow, it's really been like well over a decade that those guys have been the major people. Like they show Seth Rollins interrupting, making that classic Money in the Bank cash in at WrestleMania 31, and you realize it's over a decade ago, and even
15 years ago.
It's 50, like it's crazy, man. It's just crazy thinking about it. But that's the business and that's life. It's just yeah. And so the business goes on. So with that said, Monday Night Raw. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. A lot of returns happened on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of people who were around a decade ago, we had a big return from a very big guy who is 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Big Cass returned, but not as the Big Cass that we remember from almost a decade ago, from actually basically over a decade ago, with Enzo and Cass. It was a different Cass. What'd you think about it, man?
It was a little bit, if you remember it correctly, when he left Enzo, it was a heel before he left the company.
Fair
he
enough.
was kind of that guy. I mean, he's definitely had a little more of an edge last night or Monday night when he attacked Javon. I thought that was fine. They probably could have just left it at that. The backstage segment, to me, if you're going to do a backstage segment, it had to have more bite. It didn't. To me, it didn't land as well as it could have. And what you just said, you can't teach that and soft. He should have used that as promo. And he should have used it more of a way where he doesn't do it as animated. He just does it very calmly and like methodically. I think it would have hit if he would have just said like,
well, like I'm bigger and badder than everybody else, and you can't teach that, something like that.
Yeah, and everyone in his locker room is SAWFT soft. Just without any kind of like excitement, just
like a new spin.
Tone.
Yeah, like a new spin on it.
Like kind of just like using those words of saying, don't forget who I was, but also I'm not the same guy to a degree.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
We'll have to see where this goes. Obviously, it's gonna be him and Javon in a feud.
Poor Javon, he's gonna be bumping like crazy for him. My God.
Right. So I just I don't know. Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's gonna attack somebody on SmackDown next week. I don't know, or Monday or Friday.
He said he stopped. He said he's piling bodies. He said he's piling bodies.
He did say he's like nothing. It's just it's not personal. It's just business. So we'll see.
Yep. He was just in the way. So
that was definitely an interesting return. I did not see that return coming at that moment because I know they were, advertising it on their promos, but I wasn't expecting it on that spot at all. I thought maybe he would have just came down like interrupting somebody, but nope, he came out and whooped the ever living hell out of Javon. And also that match with Javon and what's her name? Ethan Page was pretty good. Ethan
Yeah.
Page can go.
Ethan
Man.
Page has been killing it.
And I thought Ethan Page might have been the guy that was going to challenge Gable, but
Mhm.
it wasn't. It was Dom. So I guess we can get into that part right now. With Dom and Gable, I think that's a great feud. It gets Dom away from the whole downheads and stink.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see where that goes. It should be a pretty
Dom has
decent
been
match.
awesome, man.
Good feud.
Dom has
He
been.
has been. He's lost
Yeah.
to me. He's lost a little bit of his momentum with this whole Danhausen feud. I feel like it's kind of derailed him a little bit. Yes, it was entertaining, but then it just got a little too much. I'm seeing people on social media starting to turn on Danhausen, and I can't really blame.
It's inevitable.
But I can't blame him for the ridiculousness of how he's been being used. Like too much of him, it gets like, you know, I guess you can call it fatigue if you want to call it that, of something, especially Danhausen. Also, like those kind of gimmicks are great in small doses. R-Truth, you know, they just the right amount of comedy and wrestling, but R-Truth's a much better wrestler than Danhausen too.
Yeah,
and he's actually it's a different kind of gimmick. But yeah, with when it comes to the Dominic, him and Chad should be a pretty fun feud. Hopefully, maybe this goes to JD too as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. JD's another one that I think needs to get more use out of him and get some more important bouts out of him. I kind of feel like at some point the Judgment Day has to end.
At some point.
It's crazy. It doesn't seem like it's fracturing anytime soon.
No, they're just keeping it rolling, man.
With Liv Morgan coming down.
Speaking of Liv Morgan and Judgment Day.
Yep. Trouble. And with Raquel with the Intercontinental title. And they're coming down the ring, and then who comes out to interrupt?
Becky Lynch is back. Yep.
That was a weird spot though. I'm like, wait, I thought Becky was a heel. Is she a heel or is she a baby? Like, what?
I know. And
it gets so confusing when they do this shit. Like, huh?
Yeah. I thought they actually sparred pretty well on the mic too. By the way, I thought Liv got a good licking, but man, Becky Lynch really kind of got her at the end.
just as Liv was slithering out of the ring. You're like, and I'm like, huh? This is a weird angle. Usually when they show like the entrance, like something's out.
Yep.
And then boom, Stephanie Valkyrie's music hits, and she's back.
Yep. Craziness. And then you got Steph and Becky like looking at each other.
Was the face off between them two. Like, okay, so maybe Becky will still be a heel because now that Stephanie's there, like someone's got to get a shot at Liv. I guarantee they're going to fight over that shot. So I'm for Steph. I want to Stephanie Becky feud.
I want to declare something based on what you've been saying about Liv. If they're on Liv like you say she is, Becky Lynch will look up at the lights for Liv Morgan.
I don't think Liz losing the title anytime soon.
So that Stephanie, even though she's newer on the roster, she is, throughout her career, she's obviously not she's not the equivalent of a Seth Rollins on the main roster at all, but she's a pretty solid performer and has been known as a performer. She can take L's and she can still deliver. She's not going to be hurt by not winning the championship back for now. If they really want, she can be involved. There. Yeah, exactly. So it should be very interesting. I want to go back to that little, that moment between Liv and Becky. I thought Liv got some. She really is like, she's really coming to her own on the mic, and her character just saying in her face, I'm the greatest of all. It's so obnoxious. How she says it. But then that get back by Becky being like, "You're not even the best women's champ that slept with Dom." I was like, "Damn, dude, damn."
That
was pretty good.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah. That was.
But, here's what I think is good. Typical WWE booking, if I will be Becky, Stephanie Valkyrie, and Sol Ruka versus the Judgment Day in a 6-woman tag match in the next
War Games. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yep.
War Games is way too far away for that.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm already thinking War Games, but you're right. That'll be like next week. It'll be like next week or 2 weeks from now. You're right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's another thing. Where does Sol fit into this equation too? Like, she had a pretty impressive.
You thought she
match
was losing
against-
momentum, but she had a match. What do you think? Do you think they're?
I don't know if she's losing momentum. I think they took the title off her knowing that, thinking like, okay, we did the little hot shot, get the title win, whatever. But now we'll have to see where she goes. She got a taste of some gold, but again, it's always better when the babyface is chasing the gold. So just keep the gold off of her for a while and just let the heels have the belts. And honestly, I just don't know if she's going to actually get another title run anytime soon, and she probably shouldn't. Honestly, maybe I could see her winning like Money in the Bank. Maybe that ladder match is tailor made for someone like a Sol Ruka to win, and she can hold the Money in the Bank briefcase for the whole year, pretty much, and cash in at WrestleMania next year. Because she's the type of one cashing in at Mania. There's so much talent in the women's division. Anybody could win that briefcase, and it makes sense. So hell, fucking Paige could come back and win the briefcase. That would be interesting. If Paige had the briefcase,
man. And so Ruka Money in the Bank is going to be she's going to go nuts in that match.
You know
That's
what?
tailor made for her. She's going to go crazy.
I'm going to call it right now. Roxanne Perez wins the briefcase.
Really?
Think about it. She has the briefcase. Liv Morgan's looking over her shoulder every time. Book it.
Okay.
I'll book it right now.
Okay.
Raquel,
all right.
Roxanne Perez has been waiting for a while to be like get a push, like a major title chance. I think they've been very careful where they've used her, and I think she deserves like a big storyline. And I think that would be perfect. She's in the Judgment Day, wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then all of a sudden Liv's like, "Oh, you're not going to challenge me, are you?" And that's Roxanne's time to pounce, because depending on who the champion is over there, I mean, it probably won't be Chelsea at that time. Roxanne, Chelsea, yeah. Roxanne and Jade, that'd be suicide for Roxanne and Charlotte. Nah, it's just Rhea. Nah, but Liv, makes more sense.
Yeah, I hear that, man. WWE and wrestling in general is just 24/7. It's just so many moving parts. Maybe we should listen to Triple H. Maybe Triple H said cut him some slack. Basically, it's tough to do this. It's tough to do this every single day, and that they don't get it right all the time. But when they get it right, they get it right. We just gave them credit for SummerSlam, so But also it's their job. It's their job to compete to write at the 100%. The absolute highest level. So, man.
So I guess we should talk about the bloodline and where the bloodline is going to go from here, because
are they heels? Are they faces? I think they're straight up heels, bro. Because my God.
I mean, look. Let's start with Roman Reigns and LA Knight. LA Knight, Roman Reigns.
What a promo in the beginning with all that, man. Yeah. What do you think? LA Knight is right back in it, Brandau. You were saying he was done.
Be in the picture after what they've done with him, obviously. But to me, still need more from him. I love the fact that he's there. But Roman made some good points. It's like, oh, you want a six-man tag? You think you deserve a title shot all of a sudden? Like, what else have you done?
Yeah.
And LA Knight says that there's canned lines and like they're witty, but honestly, they're kind of corny too. I'll slap you back to factory settings. Like, all right,
it was over with the crowd, man.
You're in there with the OTC, though. We're in there with the OTC. Okay, how about we get serious for a fucking minute and really get serious and give us something to know on, not just these one-liners, man. He did say some things that was good, though. I will say that. Like
when he did the Shield, he was saying "you suck," right? You see that?
Yes, of course. Again. To me, whatever. It wasn't that great. It really wasn't. I'm sorry.
Damn, weren't impressed, man. Well, I just want to say maybe part of the reason we weren't impressed is because we've seen a lot of what LA Knight's done before back in the day.
Oh yeah, I get it. He takes off from The Rock and Austin, but still, we'll see. Well, he's obviously gonna get a title shot. It's gonna happen. I'd imagine it's probably not gonna happen till
look, man.
Money in the Bank.
I said a couple weeks ago, the one thing about with LA, and I know people have their opinions about him. He has stayed. He like the people he's emulating and influenced by. Keep in mind he is, I think, in his early to mid 40s. He saw the arguably the best era of the past 35, 40 years in wrestling. Uh, so it makes sense, but he has stayed over regardless of what they've done booking with him. He has stayed over. That is something I have to keep that energy, that same energy. He's stayed over despite all, wherever he's been on the card. The crowd is still resonates with him. He's able to his mic work has really carried, and in many ways it's not quite the same, but it kind of it's Rock-esque in terms of that. No matter what the booking was, he stayed over. Obviously, The Rock was way more over, and back in that time, but LA Knight is pretty over. So gotta give credit there, and I think that honestly, like I said, I would not mind. I don't think it's a problem if Roman has a slip up. I think it adds to him the fact that we've already seen him be a champion for 4 damn years. Like, I think it's okay to if he has a little slip up, and just I would not mind LA Knight having a little bit of a transitional reign and like have it for a month, and Roman Reigns just wins it right back. I wouldn't.
I
It
don't
would
know.
I think it would make things a little interesting. That's just me though.
It
But like,
would.
I
just feel like if
wanted
you're
it to
trying
happen
to,
more with Jacob, by the way. I think that made more
yeah,
sense. But
I think if
LA
you're
Knight's,
trying to build this bloodline up more and more, I don't think Roman can lose yet,
can
because he
lose.
loses, he's going to lose the bloodline, and right now, as you can see,
They're building it up again. Yeah.
Roman said right to Jacob, he's like, he's not your family. What's this
Yeah.
brother stuff? He's not your family. Well, then Jacob whipped the ever living shit out of Royce Keys.
Poor Royce, man. Royce, we love you, bro. It was great. We met Royce, and Royce was amazing. He was really cool to talk to. Just to some game for some stuff to the people listening and watching. We were able to meet Royce in Vegas, and he was really, really cool to talk to. All that stuff y'all heard what he was talking to Stephanie about on the podcast. He basically alluded to that when we spoke with him, and he was really cool to talk to. He was really personable, really in depth, and he really is truly a thankful guy to be in the business. And he's awesome, and definitely rooting for him and his success. But with all that said, he did get his ass whooped by by Jacob Fatu. Man. Go ahead,
It needed
man.
to happen.
Had to have that.
It needed to happen. Now this Tongan death grip, I'm trying to understand.
Woo! Like, he was bleeding.
Okay. That's the first time we've seen someone bleed from it, and I'm thinking to myself, is this going to be like, are they really reinforcing Tongan death grip again, and like it's going to be that destructive going forward?
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to figure out like what's the end game here with Jacob and the Tongan.
He did get hit with the chair too, by the way. He did that move.
I know, but
probably added to it.
But I think it's supposed to be for the Tongan death grip when he did it. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, and then Roman comes out at the end, nodding his head in approval. Again, that's something fucking heel does.
That's a heel, bro.
That's heel 101.
And then he beat up the comedian, and he just like said, "Do it again." Like he's just sticking his dog out, man. Roman Reigns is no.
I honestly think the storyline they may be telling is when he keeps on sicking Fatu, his dog, that the dog's going to turn on the owner, and eventually we're going to get Fatu Roman down the line again. He's going to probably say, "I learned everything from you by taking it, and now I'm going to take everything from you." And because now he learned from him now, and this is probably when Roman's ready to leave and get going on for a while or something. I can see the next person to beat Roman will be Fatu.
I don't know about that. You think the next person to beat Roman could be Fatu? Because we are gonna maybe talk about somebody else who retired a certain guy in Brock Lesnar, and that is Obafemi.
I get that. So
that is Obafemi. Let's switch a little bit to Obafemi for a moment. We'll get back to Roman because there's some cool stuff with him possible coming up. But let's talk about Obafemi retiring Brock Lesnar. Obafemi comes out in triumphant attire, and basically had an amazing promo. It was a passing of the guard. It was a passing of the guard promo, and it just kind of links up to what I was talking about with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns being now they're the quote unquote the old guard. Although in wrestling years they're not too old, really they're not. But like it's their years they have less years in front than ahead. I'm sorry. They have less years. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
They have less years now than they did. There we go. You know what I mean? There's yeah. There's less in front than in back. Did I do that right? Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Y'all people know what I'm trying to say with that. Their clock is ticking, is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be it's probably a slower tick compared to other sports, and but it's ticking. And Obafemi had this promo that was just like, he's ready to lead the new guard. He's ready to lead the new generation, and he's ready to take the mantle and be the guy. That was a straight up, I'm the man speech that he gave. And it was really cool that Triple H did an awesome job here, and the writing team did a great job here in planting the seeds for, this new guard is coming. They're here right now. Obviously Seth, Punk, Cody, Roman, if Drew McIntyre comes back, and all these other people, they're still going to be around and still going to be killing it for the next couple years. But it's going to be a time where that's not going to be the case. Oh yeah, and I forgot Orton, obviously, who came back. So there's but Oba is basically saying that he's the guy, and they planted the seeds of Oba versus Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker comes right out to remind him, like, I loved it. I loved it, Brandau. Like, I know you're a Braun Breaker guy. He came right out. He's like, oh, okay. You're talking about how you're the leader. What about me? I'm the guy. And Braun Breaker was kind of being prepped up as the guy for the new guard. So I love that those two are just gonna, are gonna butt heads. And they even did more of that. Braun Breaker's looking for Braun Breaker's looking for Oba, talking to Paul Heyman, saying that like they're best friends now because he retired his buddy. Man, I loved all of it, man.
Yeah,
I loved all of it.
That dynamic is interesting. The whole Paul Heyman thing with Oba. I really don't think they'll go with Paul like helping Oba, but maybe like after Brock got retired, he went to Heyman and said, "Hey, listen, look over Oba. He's the preacher. He beat me. Look over him. He's earned my respect. He should earn your respect." Yep. And I think the fact that Heyman said what he said about Oba pissed Braun off. He's like, I'm supposed to be that fucking guy. That's my spot. Why are you like? And I think this could all be Paul's plan, dude, to get Braun like fired up and get him to the next level. Like, you know what? Maybe Paul's slow playing it where he's acting like he's happy for Oba, but deep down inside he's like, all right, I'm really just trying to get Braun. And when Oba least expect it, wham, Braun's gonna take him out. If anybody can beat Oba on that roster, would make sense. Would be Braun. The way they built Braun up, and it'd
be believable. It would be if they did it right. It'd be believable.
I just feel like Braun, man, is just reckless. Like I watched him spear the steps, and I'm like, dude, like you totally like you saw the big welt on his shoulder. Like, oh Christ,
yeah, he's got to rein it back in.
I was like, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy's a maniac. But that's what makes the fun of Braun Breaker's character fun, his intensity. And like that intensity and Oba, man, I'm all for it. I hope they build this out a little longer. I could see this being a match.
That's a future WrestleMania match, dude. Not like next year, but that's a future in the later this decade or the early 2030s. That could very well be a WrestleMania main event.
But I think they're definitely going to have clash way before that, obviously.
Oh yeah, they always do that. Brock versus Cena clashed in 2003 when Cena was rising to the mid card. Austin versus Rock happened in '97. They always do that. Bret Hart versus HBK happened in like 92 before it happened in 96. You know what I mean? Like they always do that. So
I think there's also one thing we need to realize too when it comes to this feud. I feel like there's been some seeds planted on X. I don't know if you've seen it, but did you see the tweet that Bronson Reed did?
No. Oh no. What did he say? What did Bronson Reed say?
He's coming back too. He said, "Oh, and you thought Roman was being shoved down your throat."
Oh wow!
So I feel like this might be a way of them having Bronson Reed come back, and we think it's gonna be Braun Breaker, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Bronson Reed comes out and it just plays out Oba. I mean,
tsunamis Oba like 5 times.
Well, he's fucking jacked now. He lost some weight. He
Yeah.
looks like a monster. Like,
Yeah.
I might be all for that. And then maybe that's how
Yeah.
you delay Braun Breaker and Oba until a little later down the line.
Ober's going to have some distractions because they have to get him. There's rumors that they're waiting for the obvious match that will probably never happen, but they're waiting. There's rumors that they're waiting to see if a certain, wrestler turned actor will actually be able to, wrestle Roman next year's WrestleMania. If he does not, then I heard apparently they're going to roll with Oba versus Roman. So it should be interesting to see what happens, because if they do that, they're going to have to get Oba to the Royal Rumble to obviously win the Royal Rumble. There's some people who might think that Oba should win now, but I don't think so. I think he's going to need to be distracted.
The beautiful thing is, Oba can win the Rumble and not have to challenge Roman. He can go after the other title holder, especially if
I've been saying
cool.
If it was Cody, it could be
Cody or Gunther. If it's Gunther, I think Gunther versus Oba would be fucking awesome too. You built Gunther up so much. He's killed Cena, Styles. Who else did he be? Send the retirement home. I mean,
yeah, man.
Cena, Styles. Who did he beat before Cena? I got him. Why am I forgetting? Oh,
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Oh my God.
So yeah, man. He sent him to the retirement home. So this career killer pretty much kind of seems like he retired out still. Maybe, I don't know. He's back to being a GM. Again, just building up Gunther to the point where he finally wins the title. He's this unstoppable force. Who could beat him? Enter Oba Femi. I mean, Oba Femi over Gunther would be huge. And guess what? Gunther can wrestle, and I think that would be such a good match. It'd be fun to watch.
There's a question I wanted to ask you. So in our thread, I kind of mentioned this. How do you think Oba should be booked now? Because they have to kind of toe a line here. He is so indestructible right now. Now, I will say he lost to Brock Lesnar, so he can be beat, but he was beat by Brock Lesnar, who's not retired. So, I feel like really, should he not lose a match until how do they balance this? Because he's got to, when he faces Roman, he's got to bulldoze him, or it's got to be. Or, you know what? I take that back. You know what? He could lose to Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns barely, and I mean barely, gets away. They could do that. They could roll with that, but I think Oba Femi's got to win. To be honest with you,
I feel like
it's just Oba's
losses have to be because of
interference,
cheap shit, and that's why I think division's perfect. That's why you do the Bronson Reed thing where the numbers game. He can't. I mean, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. If those two guys were beating his out, he should be able to fucking take both of them out. Sorry, right? No, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's to a point, it's like, okay, enough.
Yeah,
But maybe he gets through Bronson Reed, and then he goes through Braun Breaker, and then you get up to run the Rumble, and you win the Rumble, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, shit, who's left? Then it's either Roman or Gunther or maybe a heel Cody. There's a lot of ways they can go. That's the fun thing about this run. But yeah, they'll go keep them strong. I will ask you this. I feel like the crowd was a little confused by Oba coming out dressed because they used to see him in his wrestling attire or street clothes, with his muscles, and just coming out in that, it was like, was this like a signal of a ceremonial new dawning of a new era, baby?
It was victorious,
wearing, like Nigerian gear, which was cool. But it just when he came out, it didn't seem like Oba, you know what I mean? Because it was just kind of awkward to me. I don't know. And I think a lot of people felt that way too, but it didn't really matter too much, but it just was a little off in my opinion. But I think it was because they were trying to signal a new guard, a new change. So, and speaking of new,
it was his attire was to highlight. It's obviously Nigerian. It was to highlight his massive triumph, and it was highlighting his heritage.
Yeah. So was it a celebration, celebratory garb? He was wearing?
Yeah. That's how I took it. It was there to just kind of.
That's how I took it too. But I think the audience was kind of like, huh?
Yeah, but that's how I took it. He slayed the beast. He's the guy. He's the future. He's the ruler. Yeah. I mean, I think Oba Femi, man, he is, man, I couldn't have been I guess I'm not. I guess I haven't. There's still time because I said it's clearly Trick, but Obafemi has just. It's a wrap, man. This is clearly
Trick's not even in
he's
his
the
league.
dude. He's the dude. He's the dude
Yeah.
right now, at least like for the foreseeable future. It is so clear as day. And his mic skills, man. It's like he's not like crazy on the mic, but he's good enough. He's just dominant. Gets straight. Like his promos are good, man. Like in terms of fitting what his character is and how menacing he is, he is strong in many facets, man. I am so excited to see. I'm all in. The strut, the the entrance, the his in-ring ability, like it, I think he can even get better, to be honest with you. He's still pretty young. I think he can get even better. So the sky's the limit for him, man. And I just, I'm hoping that they can really, toe the line and get him where he needs to get to. We both predicted it. If that man, he's either he is a lock to win the Royal Rumble, and if he some reason doesn't win the Royal Rumble, he is bulldozing the Elimination Chamber. That man, barring the return of The Rock, that man is main eventing WrestleMania next year.
Even if The Rock returns, he might
still main event. Exactly.
So anyway, talking about the new blow, we talked about Oba, we talked about Braun, we talked about Trick, and Devon is probably the fourth guy you could say.
Yeah,
he was impressive. I mean, when he did that cutter, I was like, holy shit, he got high in the air. Like his ups are crazy, man. He's
man.
Definitely. I think you're right. I think he is like the new era Jeff Hardy.
The new blood. It's the four. Was the big four right now? I mean, is there anybody else we're missing? It's clearly the whole. I feel like the core of this new generation right now. I think it's these four, right? Anybody else? Anything else we're missing?
You
got the high flyer, you got the high flyer with Javon. You got the all around charisma, charisma and
Trick.
swag with Trick. You got the head case maniac, brute with Braun, and you've got the dominant ruler Obafemi.
It's awesome. I love it.
It is awesome. It's true. And people have been asking for this for a long time. I remember seeing people complain for a long time, being like, when are they going to create new stars? When are they going to create new stars? All the stars are late 30s, early 40s. They're, what's something's got to give. And all this time, I mean, Brandau, you're an NXT guy. They've been getting people. They're stocking people in NXT, and boom, all of a sudden they're flying in here. They're replenishing NXT like crazy. Go ahead.
Speaking of NXT, I want to go off because I think we're done talking Raw. I just want to talk about NXT real quick.
Go for it.
Last week when we were on our cast, Grayson Waller showed up and dropped a fucking nuke on the whole fucking
that was crazy.
The whole roster. He called out Tony D. Pretty much the whole men's locker room. He called out Santana, saying like about, how you changed your name. You're still the same guy. You came from TNA. Kind of like belittled TNA. I mean, he was dropping nukes left and right. And I'm like, oh wow. So I think they're actually going to have him become the champion at some point because it's one thing that's always eluded him. I think it's a great move for him to go back down there, and get some of these guys over along with himself. I was awesome.
It was great, man. He went off
the locker room saying the women's division is 10 times better than the men's here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
my man went off
on here.
Yeah,
he mentioned Oba, Braun, Trick, and Javon in his actual promo, I think, or three or four of them. Like, I was there when those guys were there. They were killers, and like he's like, right now we got this guy, that guy's like, who's really here? Like, who's going to stop me? So I like it. And also last night, I don't know if you caught it, the match between Lola Vice and Kendall Gray in the Underground.
Mm-hmm.
What a hard-hitting match that was. And I'm pretty sure Kendall Gray was not supposed to take that bump where she smashed her head on the side. I was like, oh, God, they're going to call this match. I mean, that did not look pretty. Somehow she got back in there and finished the match. And what a great match that was. So NXT's still cooking, man. It's still cooking.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So, like, Yeah, and NXT, you got the new blood forming. I don't even know they should be called the new blood, the big four, but like it's new something that's definitely brewing right now and taking shape as the pillars, maybe the four pillars of the new era coming in. Um, and you know, uh, at the end of Raw, there was a hint of something brewing between the current main guy on the roster, Roman Reigns, and Rey Mysterio, the general manager of AAA. Brandau, what are your thoughts on that? Because you have some interesting thoughts and perhaps news about that.
Yeah, I was just wondering when it happened. I'm like, what is this about? I'm like, is he going to show up on AAA? That's what it sounds like. So I think he's still going to probably sit down during this big announcement he just made, where apparently they're doing a 16-person tournament in AAA, NXT, and Raw for all the luchadors. And whatever luchador wins this tournament gets a shot at Roman Reigns on September 14th in Mexico City. And I think
That's going
that
to be
is
crazy.
awesome for the title.
That's going to
So
be awesome.
it's smart. WWE knows how to cross promote. Roman Reigns showing up on your show right there is going to sell so many fucking tickets.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll pop in on AAA at some point.
Saturday nights,
Yeah.
it's fun. I don't know if anyone's watching it, but it's great. We, I know we can. I mean, probably you definitely watch it the most, but I've caught a couple like just been hanging out Saturday night and like checking it out. It's entertaining and it's very, Undertaker's doing a damn good job in that
Undertaker
promotion.
and Ray I mean, you got two guys in WWE that just know what they're doing,
Undertaker and
and
Ray. Yep.
bring their knowledge to AAA. It's just perfect. So,
Yeah, man.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
see Dominic Mysterio entering that, winning and facing
Oh my
Roman
god.
Reigns for the title. I'm telling you, that's something WWE would do. Some shit like that.
Yeah, that is something. You know what? That is something they would do. Oh my god. So with that said, man, wanted to leave this last block of the show to discuss the retirement of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has been a part of our wrestling lives for over 2 decades. Obviously, he had the stint in UFC. He's been a big part of sports entertainment and sports and combat sports for a while. I remember when Brock Lesnar debuted after WrestleMania X8, the WrestleMania you went to, and 5 months later he beats The Rock, who's the face of the company at the time, and the torch was passed, and just absolutely they still show that moment to this day. That's how important the torch was at that time. And then Brock leaves 2 years later, and within that 2 years, though, he really was the next big thing and just made a monster impact. And was a shift. We talked about a new era being formed. Well, Brock was the sign of the new era at the time. Pre-Cena, pre-Cena's emergence, Brock Lesnar was the chosen one. He was the guy post Rock and Austin. And a lot of big moments were associated with Brock. Him beating The Rock, Austin walking out was also through Brock Lesnar. A lot of stuff back in the day was happening with him. And then Brock Lesnar becomes champion. He takes on Kurt Angle in classics, Eddie Guerrero. Like Brock Lesnar did a lot. Goldberg, he did a lot in that 2 years that he was in, he was
Yeah.
before he left. And then he comes back and he's like,
Hey,
bigger and badder than ever. And he's part, a lot of people get upset with him being part-time, but he really, brought extra levity back to the product and, taking on Cena, taking on Orton, and taking on, the numerous matches he had with Reigns, Rollins, the WrestleMania moments, CM Punk, like Undertaker beating the streak moment after moment after moment. And whether you loved him or hated him, he definitely made his mark on the business. And it's what a career, and one of the, whether you like him or not, you want one of the goats. You have to
yes.
kind of get, in terms of just impact, you have to, he was a freak of nature, one of the most recognizable looks in wrestling history, one of the most devastating finishers in all of history. Suplex City, Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, like he's up there. He's up there for sure. And Brando, I know you've been a big fan when there have been detractors about Brock Lesnar. You've come to bat for him over the years. So he finally retired. I would love to just have you, saying your praises and your thoughts about a guy who you deeply respected and was a fan of over the past decade plus.
Yeah. So Brock, it's funny. At WrestleMania Exit, I remember the first time I laid eyes on this guy, and it was in the magazine. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? Like, who's he? Like,
Yeah.
there was like there's a picture of him, and I'm like, oh my god, who is he? Then of course the next night on Raw he debuts and absolutely
Yep.
just fucking wrecks shop. I'm like, oh my god, that's the fucking guy in the book. Holy shit, he is
Right.
this guy. And ever since then, I liked him, and he had that incredible run where we never see anything so like that before. The next big thing where he makes this crazy run in his first year. We're seeing it now in Oba, just so you know,
Right.
and maybe even better, which is even
Hmm.
easier to say. And he did that 2 year stint. He just got tired of it, didn't want to work every day, and then he just wanted to do other things. So he tried football. He
Yep.
tried to play for the Vikings. Almost made the damn team. He was
Exactly.
very close. He gave me the final cut. Get to the final cuts. That's pretty impressive for someone
Insane.
who's never really played pro football. But then he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try UFC. And everyone's like, this professional wrestler. What's he think he's doing? Then he gets in there and he absolutely fucking just destroys people and wins the fucking
Exactly.
heavyweight title in the UFC. And I think that moment of him winning that and coming back after that just really threw fuel on the fire when he came back and like, man, this guy's a fucking badass, a certified badass, not this like quote unquote wrestling stuff, but like he was a UFC champion, like, and he kicked ass and he was Suplex City, like you said, all that stuff. Ending his streak, 21-1. That moment will be etched in people's heads forever.
Forever.
When they see the 21-1 pop up on the screen and the guy in the audience his jaw drop, and it's a classic meme. Brock did that.
Yep.
Everything since then too, and I think because of him beating the Undertaker, beating the streak, Oba beating Brock made it so much more bigger. I think
Hmm.
you look at that stuff and like, Undertaker should have never lost, but you know what? If he was going to lose, that was the right guy to lose to, because look what that's done for everyone that's fought Brock since then. Brock Lesnar's been, and this credit goes to Paul Heyman too, by always making that a point and introducing him. He's the one who put the 1 and 21-1, and I think that makes Brock such a big deal. And when people wrestle him,
good point.
It's huge.
It's a good point, Brandau. The feud with Roman Reigns, whether people liked it or not, with his bloodline, with the rise of the bloodline, that was big. That was really big when Roman Reigns was taking on Brock Lesnar again, when that was going on again, and with getting Roman Reigns over in general. With even though it was forced, it was still a big part of it before pre bloodline against Brock Lesnar too, and obviously Cody re-solidifying Cody before he had his championship. You're right. A lot of people were going through Brock Lesnar to, get the stamp. That's a good point.
Yeah, 100%. So with that being said, I think it's funny. Typical Brock. He's retired, right? That's his retirement back. And I seen an interview today on TMZ. They asked him some stupid ass question. Are you going to fight Jake Paul? Do you have any interest in that? Brock's answer is so Brock too. 5 words. He's like, I ain't doing jack shit. That was what Brock said. The man wants to be left alone in retirement and on his farm. He just wants to chill and relax. So let him go. And with that
He'll
being
come back
said,
to the Hall of Fame.
I mean, it had to be interesting to see if he goes to the Hall of Fame and does a Hall of Fame speech, because I just don't see Brock being that guy. But I think he would do it. It's just a matter of when.
Well, Heyman will do it for him.
Heyman will definitely be the one who induct him.
Inducts him.
There's nobody else that should induct him. Any other person, I would argue, would be the Undertaker,
right?
Because he broke the streak. That would be kind of cool too. But I think it's Heyman. We all know that.
Definitely.
With that being said, let's talk about some of his greatest matches. What, in your eyes, is his top? Is his top matches?
All right,
that you remember.
So I had the list here. I'm going to try and give my top 5 with some honorable mentions. First off, in terms of honorable mention, I want to say, just because it was shocking at the time, Brock versus Cena at SummerSlam 2014, just seeing Brock absolutely eradicate John Cena. We were all watching. We were like, is this actually happening? Like, is this actually happening? We're like the face of the company, like, although at the time you could argue it was Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan wasn't like wrestling at the time. But John Cena, who'd been the imprint from 2005 to 2014, basically Like the umbrella of the WWE was John Cena at that time. Like, my God, to see him get destroyed like that at SummerSlam 2014 was absolutely shocking and insane. No, barely any offense, just complete and utter destruction. To see that happening to John Cena, John freaking Cena, Super Cena, like, was absolutely jaw dropping and shocking at the time. And it just kind of goes to show you that post streak defeating the streak, like rub. My God, like, that was just crazy. And I don't think in such a big match with such hype that we've seen such dominance in that match. So that's my honorable mention for that. So number 5, there might be another honorable mention. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't. All right, this is gonna be tough.
Just name your favorite couple matches. I don't think
all right. I can really go off here.
We could kind of agree or disagree, or like.
All right, number 5. Number 5 is I got Rock versus Brock, SummerSlam 2002.
I think that's on everyone's list.
Passing of the torch. Great match, great build up. Led to Hollywood. Rock actually started that. Like, big moment for Brock, youngest champion ever at the time. Number 4 would be Brock versus Eddie Guerrero at No Way Out 2004. Amazing
Excellent
moment,
match.
Great match. Number 3 would be Taker versus Brock at Hell in a Cell at No Mercy 2002. I think one of the best Hell in a Cell matches ever. Very brutal match. And really at the time really stamped Brock, defeating The Undertaker, who at the time I didn't think was going to lose to Brock. And Brock, they just doubled down in terms of that. So that was big.
Did.
Number 2, I have Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar in the Iron Man match, SummerSlam 2003. Great match, one of the best Iron Man matches ever.
I thought he was going to break his neck there. Crazy.
Seriously, just insane. And number 1, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar 2013 SummerSlam. That's actually my favorite. That's my favorite CM Punk match and my favorite Brock Lesnar match. I thought that was a great match, and that's probably my top 5. I'm sure I missed some, but that's my top 5.
You got the most important ones. The only one I think you really left out that I thought was awesome was this triple threat match with Seth and Cena at the Rumble. That was such a fun match.
Good one.
That was a good. Yeah, that was a really good. That was a good one. And then also
Lesnar versus Reigns was good at WrestleMania 31 before Raw. That was a good match.
I was going to say that one too. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, look, the guy's had a great career. He's put on great matches. And that Eddie match, by the way, I didn't think Eddie Guerrero was going to win that fucking match. Did you?
Yeah.
But it was put Eddie Guerrero over there.
I was hoping that I was hoping that Goldberg was going to run in, but I didn't think it was going to happen. I was like, nah. I really wanted Eddie to win, but at the time, I was like, there's no way Eddie pulls this off. So it was great when it actually happened. But you're right, it was crazy.
So I think you look at those matches, and I'm sure we're missing a couple. But honestly, all the matches you mentioned are the ones I had in mind, except for the one you just mentioned with the Cena Seth triple threat at Rumble. But yeah, I mean, he's had an excellent career. He's put on some good matches. I feel like now that people are going to look back at his career, they're like, wow, he really was underrated in comparison. I know a lot of our friends don't like him because he does the suplexes and he sucks. And that's just, to me, that's just being ignorant to the business. Honestly, that's just being completely ignorant to what's going on. So seriously, when guys like Cena. I don't know if you saw it last night, or was it last night or the other night on Raw? They're talking to all the guys in the industry. They're like, they're praising this guy up and down, saying how good of a wrestler he was and everything he did was right. So if the boys that work with him respect him, then you know what? You have to respect the guy. It's the same thing as like all the Cena haters that don't like Cena. As much as he's not our cup of tea, you got to respect the guy's work ethic and what he's done in the business.
Yeah.
So anybody that says stuff like that just doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar is a huge draw. I mean, you saw it at the SummerSlam. You've seen it at numerous places. The crowd erupts every time that music hits. They go ape shit. Oh God, here comes fucking Brock Lesnar to kick some ass. I'm gonna miss that part when Brock's music hits and he comes out to whoop some ass. But you know what? He's had a long career. 49 years old. He can go into the sunset. He just made a new star in Oba. I think
the beast can rest.
I think maybe he'll get inducted to the Hall of Fame. I don't know about this year, maybe the following year. I don't know if Saudi is the right place to do it. Maybe
Right.
it doesn't.
It'll
It seems
probably
weird how they're. I don't know
yeah.
how they're going to do that. By the way, too, are they going to hold the Hall of Fame in Saudi? Or are they going? I guess they have to.
Well, they clearly have plans for stuff back in the States, so who knows. But you're right, usually they have the entire WrestleMania roster at the Hall of Fame, so it
Yeah.
should be interesting what they do.
So I just don't see them doing Brock there. That doesn't to me. I don't. I don't know who the hell they do there, but that's another story. But getting back to Brock, I mean, we'll have to see where he ends up when it comes to the Hall of Fame, and in terms of like list of top wrestlers of all time. For me, he's probably in my top 20.
I was gonna say top 20. I think he's a
I
solid
mean,
top 20.
just
Like he
based
wasn't.
on everything
Yeah,
he's done.
yeah.
It's not because he's like this great technician, but he's also made guys look so good. His facial expressions, like putting people
He's
over
a
just by
name.
doing,
He's a
that
name.
stuff.
Yeah, he's a name. He's known in and out of the business. He's obviously not known to the degree of the people we know. We typically talk about in terms of crossing all those boxes, but he's pretty freaking known.
He
He's
checks
pretty
every
known.
box.
He's pretty close. He's pretty close. I agree. I think he's a solid in terms of just like drawing, and all the other factors you put in. He's definitely a solid top 20. And if we really were to break it down in an episode, he might even be higher than that. So I
Yeah.
agree. I think at minimum he's top 20, just off the top of my head. He's one of the first people to go think about at least in WWE in terms of that. But honestly, all of wrestling too, man. In terms of just like names involved in the industry. No question. Hard hitting, could sell. His look, the music. The wrestling has lost well, he's still around. I don't want to say lost, but wrestling will remember. Well, there's a void left with Brock Lesnar not being, retiring. But
I
the
think he'll be
industry goes
okay.
on, and what a person to pass the torch to. Maybe that's probably a part of the reason why he felt like it was time to go, because it's looking more and more likely that this guy Oba is going to be able to embrace taking the baton from Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar.
100%.
So, yeah, man.
So
So
hats off to Brock Lesnar.
hats off to Brock Lesnar, man. Brock Lesnar was awesome. Man, I remember watching you when I was a damn kid, man. It was like you've been around some of the biggest moments in the industry, man. A lot of memories made, especially in the post Attitude Era, and you coming back in 2012 was just crazy. And it's the WrestleMania we went to in Dallas, we saw you, man. I was gonna say the SummerSlam Roman versus Brock Lesnar with the forklift was crazy too. That was a crazy moment.
Yeah,
Lot of moments,
a
man.
lot of crazy moments. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of moments you gave. Oh, the breaking the ring with Big Show, the suplex, the superplex, just a lot of big moments, man. One of the biggest stars the industry's ever seen. And I know that this happens with the industry. The industry has to move on, but it was great to be a part of the timeline to see Brock Lesnar do his thing, for sure. No question.
Absolutely.
So with that said, do you have anything else to add, Brandau?
No, I think we said it all when it comes to Brock and his career and everything about SummerSlam and about Mount Monday Night Raw. So it's just have to see what happens in Philly with SmackDown, what the fallout was with
Let's
everything that
go.
happened. Are you
Yeah,
going?
man. I will not be able to make it, but
Me either.
we will for damn sure cover it our next episode. So, thanks to everybody watching. Thanks to everyone listening. Pro wrestling is life, and have a good one.
Peace.